Okay guys, finally here is the Tamron 150-600. It's been out for some time, well over a year, and obviously Sigma brought out those other two lenses to try and compete with it. What I just wanted to tell you about the lens is basically it focuses to 2.7 meters, which is basically a centimetre closer than the contemporary can focus, but it's also a centimetre less than what the Sigma Sport can focus to. What's good about this lens is I think the focusing is easier. On the contemporary and Sport it's a lot stiffer to move than that, but it's really quick to move the focusing ring for manual focus, and it's a lot bigger as well. So to me, if you're wanting something that's quite light but with a good manual focusing ring, you couldn't go wrong with the Tamron 150-600. So what do you have on the lens? Well, just like the Sigma's Contemporary and Sport, you've got a you have VC, but on this they don't have a panning selection mode. Basically, algorithms within the camera detects you panning automatically, and you don't need to turn it on and off or put it into another mode or anything like that. You've got autofocus and manual focus. You do have full-time manual focus on this, and you have just two selections on this lens for your focus limiters. You've got full and 15 meters to infinity. It's a good lens. Looking at the examples you'll see, what I have noticed is it's slightly, only ever slightly, less sharp than the Sigma Contemporary version and Sport. Basically, you won't notice the difference on a crop sensor camera. You might notice the difference on a full frame, and what I did want to say is, in this review, keep in mind that if you're using full frame, your focusing will be a lot quicker than my tests have shown, and it's very possible if you're using full frame you may not experience any slight hiccups with the focusing like I had on this 7D at the long end at 600mm. So, you know, full frame it probably will work a lot better than it does on a crop sensor camera. Saying that, it focuses very well. I didn't have any major problems. The only thing you might experience with this lens is there's a bit more chromatic aberration with it. Only slight, and you can't notice that in the JPEGs. There is slightly better vignetting on this than there is on the Sport and Contemporary, but you can sort those problems out in Lightroom and Photoshop. I've got some examples for you to see. I hope those examples show you how sharp these lenses are, and I hope you enjoyed my little video. What I like about the Tamron is I like the actual tripod mount. It's actually easy to hold and carry like that. It's a lot more difficult to hold it like that on the Contemporary. The only reason I prefer the Contemporary over the Tamron is the Sigma dock, where you can customise and update the firmware and hopefully make the focusing quicker. I do believe the focusing on the Tamron is probably the quickest on all these lenses, but I do think the Sport will have the more robust focusing system. And I did want to address some of the critics. Some of the critics regarding my reviews on the Canon 100-400 Mark II. I've compared these lenses with their focusing speed, and to my eye, the focusing is quicker than the Canon Mark II. That's my honest opinion, and I hope this overview of these three lenses has been helpful. For me, I didn't know which one I wanted to go for. Personally, I'm going to go for the Contemporary because it's a lot lighter than the Sport version. If the Sport version was a lot sharper, close to a Canon 400 Prime, I'd probably be thinking about going for that particular lens. But as it is, For £750 you can pick up the Contemporary or the Tamron, or £1,200 for the sport version of the Sigma lens. Thank you for watching, and leave any comments and subscribe please. I do appreciate it when people make comments, and I'm always happy to respond to any questions. And thank you. Bye bye.